All right. So I don't know if you have Skype up. I had emailed. I sent them in Skype, but I'll read them off. It's starting with, not in this particular order, but mostly definition, explanation, like promissory note, simply the note, subject to mortgage, land sale contract, chattel mortgage, purchase money mortgage. I mean, some of these I can look up the definition, but the concept I more or less help with.
Okay, so let's pick one. Let's pick a starting point.
Well, plain and simple, the note. A lot of times they associate the note with the mortgage. So the note itself, is it a document? Is it a piece of paper, or just a terminology?
All of the above. So the note is evidence of your debt. It's that promissory note, okay?
Right.
A note technically could be me taking a napkin and writing to you, I owe you money.
Oh, okay.
All right? So it's not necessarily a real estate term. It's just technically for your exam, and for life, I guess, it's evidence of the debt.
Evidence of the debt, but it's an actual it's a piece of paper. It's actual note.
Right, and that could be as simple as me writing on a napkin, I owe you $10.
Okay. So in a mortgage, when you're doing the closing and everything, deed is transferred, there's also the note.
Right.
How does that?
Well, when you get your loan, a mortgage, if you will, you have the mortgagor and mortgagee. Do you know the difference between those two?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the difference?
The mortgagee is the lender, mortgagor is the buyer.
Do you know your OREE rule?
Yeah, for the most part. The only one I have to stop and actually write it down is the option where the optioner gives the option to the optionee, and then it goes back to the optioner. Then that flips. That's the only time I have to actually sit down and think about it. But otherwise, the standard vendor, vendee, those I'm okay with.
So let's talk about the mortgagor and mortgagee. How does the OREE rule apply to the mortgagor and mortgagee?
Okay, so the mortgagee, the way I learned it is the lender. Right. And it is the EE receives, so they're receiving the payment.
No.
And
so you're good. You're good that so the EEOR applies to the first action. Okay.
Okay.
So before they receive a payment, you got to make a loan, and before you give anybody a loan, you got to give them that promissory note.
Oh, okay.
So the mortgagee, the whole thing starts with that promissory note, that evidence of the debt.
Okay, so
So the mortgagee is the EE because they're receiving that note. So whenever you think of that OREE rule, you got to think of it in terms of what's the first action. First action is that you got to give a promissory note. People often get that confused as they think, well, why is it the EE if he's giving money? Well, before he gives money, he has to receive the note.
Yeah. And so the note itself, that's signed by the buyer?
Yeah. Well, the borrower. Because remember, you don't need to buy a house to get a loan.
Okay. The borrower.
Like if you get a home equity mortgage, do you own a home?
Correct.
Can you get a loan right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
you're not a buyer.
Yeah, I have to think, salesperson. Okay, that's a good point. Thank you. So, all right, so the borrower would sign that note, and then it moves on to the deed and everything else being transferred.
Right.
Okay. All right, so that terminology, note and promissory note, those are interchangeable, you would say?
Yes.
Okay. So next one is the subject to mortgage.
Okay, so you have subject to and assume. All right?
Assume?
And assume.
Okay.
So it's like hot, cold, fast, slow. Subject to assume. Okay.
Okay.
What does the word assume mean to you?
Assume is a judgment.
Well, no, think in just common English. Do you have kids?
Yes.
When you tell your kids you need to assume responsibility for your actions, what are you telling them?
You're telling them that they're supposed to do what they're asked, whatever the chore is, they're supposed to do it and act on it.
Right. So they're supposed to assume that responsibility.
Right.
So when you assume a loan, what's happening?
You're taking it over.
Good. Excellent. So assume is when the buyer takes over that loan.
Okay.
That is not the typical way to do it. Typically, it's subject to. So if assume means the buyer's taking over the loan, then what do you think subject to means?
Wait. Assume is they're taking over. Subject to, they already have it?
No, subject to means they're not taking over. It means the seller's responsible for the loan.
That I don't understand. How is that possible? So someone's selling the house,
right?
But then they're responsible for paying.
Do you have your house right now?
Yes.
Do you have a loan on it?
Yes.
I want to buy your house, right?
Right.
What happens to your loan?
My loan gets paid off with your purchase.
Good.
You would hope in a normal transaction.
Right. The proceeds, right, of the sale, okay, would pay off your loan. All right. So I'm buying the house subject to the fact you pay off your loan.
Okay.
Okay. So you're selling it subject to. Assume would be if I took over your loan.
Okay.
All right. But normally I'm getting your house subject to. I'm buying your house subject to the fact that you are liable for your loan. And you're going to take care of that loan, as you said, with the proceeds I'm going to give you for the house.
Okay, one more time. I'm not getting it. I'm sorry.
Sure. So you are selling the house, all right, subject to. Meaning you're selling it subject to the fact that you pay off your loan.
Right. Okay.
Okay? As opposed to assume, where you're selling the house and I'm going to assume the loan. I'm not assuming the loan. Okay, subject to means you're going to pay off the loan as the seller. You're liable. Subject to, the seller's liable. Assume the buyer's liable.
Okay, so, but does that happen a lot? I mean...
Yes, that's the normal way to do it.
Wait, say again?
That's the normal way it happens.
What, the subject to?
Yes, they just don't talk about it a lot, but that's what's happening.
So I'm selling the house, but I paid off. I was thinking that this happens sometimes in the transaction with kids. Like, say I have kids, I want to give my kids the house.
No, you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
Yeah,
it happens in the transaction. Like, you're not literally going back and forth. When it goes in escrow, it's all happening in one big swoop. I give the money goes to the bank, you give me the keys to the house, we're all happy.
Okay.
Like, it's not... I mean, just remember this for me. Subject to, seller liable, assume buyer liable.
Wait, let me write this down. Okay. Subject to...
Seller liable.
Seller liable.
Assume buyer liable.
One. Assume buyer liable.
Yes.
But that's the standard. You said subject to. That's the standard process that most people go through.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Just worry about subject to, seller liable, assume buyer liable.
Got it. Okay. All right. So the next one is landfill contract.
Okay. So that's when the seller okay, becomes the beneficiary. Do you know what I mean by that?
No, I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay, so what I mean by that is that the seller becomes the lender.
Yeah, I don't understand that concept.
I'm buying your house, and we do
Right.
not use a bank. I just make payments to you over time.
Oh, yes. Okay. But, all right. But the question, so it's called a land
It's called
sale
a land
contract.
contract. Yeah.
It doesn't, why would, it's confusing. Okay, so it's called a land sale contract. Someone's buying my house, but so in other words, a bank's not involved?
That's why you do it, because you don't want the bank involved.
Oh, and it's called a land sale contract.
Yes. That's the whole point,
Wow.
because you don't want the bank involved.
And that, again, is that common or not really that common?
That's for special circumstances.
Okay. And it's totally legal?
Of course, yeah, you could lend me money. I mean, you could lend me money to go get a hamburger. Why not for a house?
Okay. And a standard contract like that, I guess, would involve the attorneys and everything, but no bank?
Yeah.
Ah. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So that makes sense, Lance. Yeah. Okay. Let me just, so I don't forget. No bank. No bank involved in a land sale contract. So now it's clearer. It's much, much clearer, especially it never made sense. Okay. Chattel mortgage, that's another...
Personal property. What's chattel mean?
Chattel is personal.
Good.
Personal property.
Good. So chattel mortgage would then be... So what would a chattel mortgage be?
Personal property in the I don't know. I'm guessing.
You're using personal property as collateral for the loan.
Oh, okay. Using personal property.
Yeah.
Personal property for the, and that again. Okay, wait. So, I guess can that be used in conjunction with money or not?
Don't overthink it.
Okay.
Remember, we want to pass. And so, when's your test?
Saturday.
Yeah, so we want to pass. Just remember, they use personal property as collateral. Before you get into the big understanding of everything, make sure you understand these key terms, or better yet, just memorize them. Once you have that all nailed down, you could go into more in-depth understanding. But if you're trying to get more in-depth understanding without understanding these basics, then you're going to confuse yourself. It's like trying to learn division without understanding subtraction.
Right. I got you. All right, so that's what that is. Okay, using personal property as collateral. All right. And purchase money mortgage.
Okay. What do you think on that one?
It's in some of the test samples I've taken, and I don't remember. Again, some of these things, it's you could read the definition, but the explanation helps.
But basically, a purchase money mortgage is a mortgage issued to the borrower by the seller of a home as part of the purchase transaction. It's also known as seller or owner financing. So the seller's financing it. It usually happens when a buyer cannot qualify for a mortgage through normal lending channels. There's more detail to it, but I'll send that to you.
Okay, all right. So I'll wait for that.
All right, but it's a form of seller financing.
Seller financing. 1 minute, I'm writing down. Okay, equitable title.
Equitable title is a fancy way of saying possession.
It's possession.
Right, and also the chance to gain equity. Where I suppose the legal title is the right to sell.
Wait. Equitable title is actual possession. Right?
When you get a loan, when you said you have title, you have equitable title. You're giving legal title to the bank.
Okay. And what's the legal title again, you said?
The right to sell. So when you get a loan, the bank takes over legal title.
The bank has the legal, not you.
No, you have equitable title.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
When you pay the loan off in full, you get the legal title back.
Oh, that makes sense now. Okay, I got it. Okay, so equitable, yeah, so that's like, all right, almost like having a car. You don't have the papers on it yet. I got it. Wow. Okay, equitable title, possession, and then legal title, right to sell. Okay, so you don't have the right to sell it yet. Okay, all right. But, like you said, Joe, a lot of them, it's like I overthink it. So that's what's happening with me.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right, and another definition is a trust deed note.
So a trust deed, you have a trust deed and a mortgage, okay?
Uh-huh.
A trust deed is 3 parties, a mortgage is 2. Okay?
Trust deed, right?
Yes, a trust deed. It's a way to get money from the bank. And you got to remember, a trust deed is 3 parties, a mortgage is 2. A mortgage is a mortgagor and mortgagee. A trust deed is a trustor, trustee, and beneficiary.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's a second trustee, trustor, and beneficiary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We did Landfill Contract chattel. All right. So I'll send you the others. Thanks so much.
No problems. Good to meet you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.